It's time to talk about the next book club picks. So today's just a quick video to share what books I will be reading in my book club that I am running with my channel members. And these are the book club picks for September through December of 2025. So let's just jump right into it. I just have a few books to share with you. So the first book that we will be reading and working through in the month of September is going to be Kokoro by Natsume Soseki, and this will be the first work that I have read by this author. It is a classic work of Japanese literature, and it talks about the relationship that a young man forms with his teacher, who he refers to as sensei, who is this sort of mysterious older gentleman that comes into his life, who then begins to share about some of the conflicting things that have gone on in his life and in his past. It is definitely a story that encompasses the relationship between one generation and the next, and specifically the crossover of generations in early 20th century Japan. So I have heard a lot of really interesting and good things about this book. I'm excited to get into it and to go through it and discuss it with other people. And what originally brought this book to my attention is that it is a work that the book Lonely Castle in the Mirror is semi-based on, in terms of the themes that are brought up in both of these books are supposed to be very similar. And in fact, the main character in Lonely Castle in the Mirror's name is Kokoro, and it's from this book. So I'm interested and excited to finally see for myself what the connections are between these two works, and I'm really looking forward to sharing some Japanese literature and speaking about it in book club. The book for October is going to fit and work well for Victober, which happens every year, and we will be reading in my book club Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. This will be one of many times that I have read Great Expectations, but I haven't read it maybe since early high school. So I'm looking forward to getting into a work of Charles Dickens and see how I like this story. It's definitely a bit of a coming of age story, as a lot of Charles Dickens works are, and it follows the young boy Pip, who is growing up in a really struggling situation. His parents have passed away, and he is being raised by his older sister, who is not necessarily going about things in a gentle manner. And Pip is looking for a way out of his life and hoping to move on to a better place and situation, where suddenly he finds that there are a lot of people who expect a lot of things from him, and that his life has been set up where he has potentially great expectations. But not all of them are going to be met in exactly the way he thinks or wants. And like with all of Charles Dickens' books, I'm sure there will be a lot of characters in here of all sorts and types. I'm expecting heartwarming discussion, as well as some complexity. I remember very little of this book other than Mrs. Havisham being a very strange person, and I am looking forward to that. It is on the longer side in this particular edition. It's just over 500 pages, so we will actually be reading this in October and November, because I feel like that also buys us a little more time as we get into the holiday season. And speaking of the holiday season, I thought it would be nice to go with something that at least gave those types of vibes. And so in this case, I'm following up a read that I did last year, which was Alexander Dumas' The Tale of the Nutcracker, by this year having us read E.T.A. Hoffman's Nutcracker and the Mouse King. Again, I mentioned that I know the end of the year tends to be very busy for people, and so this is just going to be a very quick novella. In the edition I have, it's a bind-up of two works, and so in here, E.T.A. Hoffman's book is just 60 pages long. This is also a book, as are the other two, that are in the public domain, and so it makes it really easy to get a hold of it. I will include some links below where you can find an edition of this book, as well as the other books that I have mentioned. But before I get into that, let me talk some more about what The Nutcracker and the Mouse King is about. A young girl named Marie is gifted a wooden nutcracker by a sort of not so well known uncle of hers, and she takes the nutcracker, goes to sleep that night, and suddenly finds that the nutcracker has come to life, and she has a whole bunch of adventures with him, including an encounter with the Mouse King. And things go on from there. I have heard that E.T.A. Hoffman's stories are very fanciful and magical and adventurous, and I really enjoyed Alexander Dumas' retelling of this story, so I'm looking forward to hearing the original story itself. And again, I feel like this will have some good winter vibes, and it's the story on which the ballet, The Nutcracker, is based off of, so that'll be fun to discuss as well. And yeah, I think it'll be a nice quick read to discuss together and end the year. So again, if you would like to find any of these books, I will put a link in the description box to Project Gutenberg, where you should be able to find most, if not all, of these books in the public domain. You can also try LibriVox if you prefer audiobooks, and your local library, bookstore, that kind of thing. These are the editions that I will be reading of each of these works. The two that it's probably most important to keep in mind if you want to have like same page numbers and same translations as I do would be for Kokoro and for E.T.A. Hoffman's book. Both of those are translated, and so you might want to keep that in mind. And I'll be sure to list who the translators are below. And I'll also include an affiliate link, so if you would actually like to buy these books, I will put that in the description box as well. So that's it, just a quick little description of all of that. I hope that some of you will read along with me and come and join the book club. All you have to do that is just hit the join button below, and that will give you access to all my channel membership, which includes our book club meetings. If that's not something you're interested in doing, I do occasionally host buddy read-alongs just on my channel. Those are open to everyone because they're just hosted usually on just one day. We all start the book together and discuss it a bit. So I will be looking forward to that as well, and other opportunities to just hang out and talk with you guys. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you think of them, of course, non-spoilers, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!